Hi, welcome back to Jillin Off. If you're binge listening or binge watching right now on YouTube, you might notice we're wearing the same clothes.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. We were just gonna swap outfits, but then Jen was right.
I don't think anyone would be fooled.
Nobody, and you're right. Then you would be sitting pantless, and because I would just throw the dress up over top of these black pants.
Plus, we have a half-drink beer, so
we have this.
we've just been stuck in this closet for a week.
We've been stuck in the closet for a week. This is our bunker. Our IPA bunker.
Yes, this torpedo is really strong. It's taking us
Sierra
a while.
Nevada from Chico, California.
Chico!
Chico.
That's where George Gonzalez is from.
Cute. Whose handle, I believe.
We are sponsored today.
Doesn't his Instagram have the word Big Daddy in it? Big Daddy something?
It does, and I didn't know that was him on Instagram for a long time.
Shout out to Big Daddy.
So, you recommended a book for me that I listened to on my way to Scottsdale.
So I've been reading this book called, it's on the, on the a new age kind of self-improvement side.
Enlightenment. Personal growth.
It's called Unfuck Yourself, and it's by a Scottish man, and I feel bad that I don't know his name off the top of my head, but obviously you guys could
John Bishop something.
Yeah.
John Gary Bishop. John Bishop.
Like a three-name name. Anyways, but you're listening to the audio.
Well, so the night before I was driving to Scottsdale, you told me how great the book was, so I thought, I'll get the audiobook, and that way on the way to Scottsdale, I can empower myself.
I thought this was a brilliant idea.
So I start listening, and he's just like this. It's not just that he's Scottish, it's a very strong Scottish accent. And he also has kind of an angry tone, but I don't think he's angry, it's just the way he talks.
Right.
So he's like, why don't you improve your life? Like, I don't know how to do a Scottish accent.
Oh no.
Everything he was saying, it sounded like he was like really mad about it. So it wasn't, even though the words I'm sure were positive, everything sounded negative.
Oh, I get it. See, that's why you need me in the car. Because I feel like I read the other book. I read You Are a Badass every day to you in the car.
And that changed my life.
And that changed your life. Because I've got the positive voice. I'll stop and, we could talk about things, right? We go, oh my God, let's like this and this and this, and relate it to our lives as we drive. But yeah, I never do books on tape, so I only have my voice when I'm reading something, right?
I mean, I'm sure most of them are fine. He just happened to, it's just the way he talked. It's a negative tone. And also...
So he probably really did need to unfuck his life.
Yeah, it did.
It
sounded like he was still a little fucked.
Yeah.
I wish I could do a Scottish accent, because I was just like, oh my God.
Oh my God.
This guy does not sound empowering at all. He was making me want to drink.
I mean, I've been reading it. I'm also reading that book that was a movie, Where'd You Go, Bernadette? I'm reading that for my book club.
Oh, it's good.
Right now. Yeah, I like it. It's really good. Yeah. It's about a kind of crazy 50-year-old woman.
Yeah, I've heard of the movie, but I've never seen it.
Anyways, I'm pretty into it, but I don't have anything really exciting to report about reading the book. Excepting that I'm reading. I'm so proud. And I'm not just watching the ID network, but I am. I like my true crime network. There's a whole network now dedicated to true crime shows.
I know.
I'm obsessed. Did
You're
you watch
on
it?
No, I never saw it in the hotel.
Nobody has real cable anymore, so I feel like I'm all alone with this. If you listen to the ID network, reach out. And all the shows are like, Betrayed. Well, there's another show called The Case That Still Haunts Me. Yeah.
Dude, when I was driving home, right by Palm Springs, there was this huge billboard. Well, I mean, a billboard. I guess they're all the same size. Like, for a missing person, it was a nice picture. And except in really big letters, it said, do you know who murdered me?
Oh my God.
And his picture, but the same as a missing person, but I guess it's a murder case. But I was like,
wow. Was that in Arizona or California?
No, California, out by Palm Springs.
It's creepy. That's the thing, right? That's really creepy. And then at the end of all these shows, like the murder show I just watched, it was about a murder in 1990 in Banff. And then at the end of the show, they're like, and he got released on parole in 2012. So it's like, oh great, now I get to know that the fucking murderer's out there. Like, I don't think that the shows should be allowed to be on.
You just threw your pen.
I know. I'm like, oh great, now I have to worry about Creeper McCreeperson deciding that he wants to fucking smash some girl with a hammer again.
Oh, that's
These people
terrifying.
should just be in jail for life. I feel like if you kill somebody, a life for a life.
I
That's
thought
it.
you were in jail for life if you kill somebody.
Well, this guy's out of fucking, maybe it's my country, my people, Canada. Maybe they're going too soft on everyone.
Well, they're not too soft when they're trying to let people in.
I know. Oh, yeah, that's true. Oh my god. Speaking of creepy shows, oh yeah, I think I wanted to talk about this last week and we didn't get to it. So, of course, remember we called that episode a few weeks ago, I'm not going to boil your bunny?
Yes, of course.
So then, of course, I wanted to watch Fatal Attraction, because truth be told, I don't think I've ever seen it before.
Oh.
It came out kind of at, I think it was 91, I Googled it, so I would have been 12 going on 13. But definitely I remember just like coming down the stairs and my parents were watching it, and they were like, go back upstairs! And same with Basic Instinct. I never saw Basic Instinct, but Fatal Attraction I would have had to buy, and it was so late I didn't really want to buy anything. I didn't know how long I was going to stay awake. But Basic Instinct, you watch for free on Amazon right now.
That's
so I watched it.
That's a good one.
Oh my god! And you know what? There is something great about. Is this our version of older movies? You know, when we were growing up, our parents were watching like old shows, like Leave It to Beaver, old movies, and they're black and white. But of course, our old movies aren't black and white. But there's something to be said about the look of a movie that's made in like the early 90s or like 80s. Like it is old. Like it is different. Everything looks different. The cars, the way they talk.
I feel like they talk a lot slower.
I think
A
so
little
too.
bit.
And like, yeah.
I just remember Sharon still like making drinks. So, didn't she in her house like have like a bar?
Yeah, she was always making drinks. He's like, I don't drink anymore.
And then she takes the ice pick and cracks all the like chunks of ice.
Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, she likes to.
That was a good movie.
Honestly, I gotta tell you, it totally held my attention, and it was interesting. And I mean, of course, I had heard that she flashes her vagina in that movie, but I didn't expect it to happen so early on in the film. You'd think that would have been a climax part of the movie, no pun intended. But
oh no,
it's actually quite soon. It's like 10 minutes in. Oh yeah, they're making sure you're not walking out for more popcorn.
Oh, that's true. You don't want to miss a second.
Can you imagine seeing that movie in theater? Can you imagine a whole bunch of people, like 1991, like, oh my god, it's a vagina. Meanwhile, today we'd be like, yeah, we all point on our phones right now. We can see a vagina, whatever.
I know. It's kind of sad that it's not as poignant anymore. Is that a word?
Yeah.
Poignant?
I know, and I was impressed that there was...
Did I use that in the right context?
Yes, I think you did.
Do you know how many times I'm texting someone I have to stop and look up the word?
Oh, I do that all the time.
Make sure I'm using it in the right way.
Sure. Oh, let me just make sure.
Anytime I use a word that's more than 5 letters, I gotta make sure I'm using it in the right way.
How do I spell facetious? Like, I do it all the time. I really do. I wonder if people know how often I do stop to Google something before I text them back.
Probably not.
Just make sure I'm doing this right.
I had a revelation about you. I don't know what made me think of this.
Okay.
I realized, I think you're going to know when you find your soulmate by when you meet a guy.
And they want a second date?
Who lives in a house. And in his bathroom is a bidet.
Oh. Wait, you think that's all it's going to take for me to like a guy?
Yeah.
Somebody who gets his butthole cleansed really well?
No, you're going to be able to cleanse yours.
I mean, yeah, that's exciting for me. Because you can only wipe so many times when you're like, oh.
I think you're good. Have you ever used one?
Nope.
Oh, see, that's why you're not as on board with me as I thought you would be.
But once I get a bidet in my life,
yeah, because I know how important the bathroom activities are to you.
They really are. Like, remember
Once
I went a
you
whole
try
day
it
without
once?
pooping. Remember a couple days ago, I went a whole day without pooping.
Yeah, that was a sad day. I was really worried about you.
I was like, what's going on in my body? That's never how I don't get backed up. I don't. That's not my thing.
I was gonna come take you to urgent care.
Talk about this, and I'm usually quite regular.
Like, can you come give me an enema?
Yeah, I was worried. Maybe that's the day I stayed at home.
Yeah.
Oh, I was really gassy though. That's the thing, but that's how I knew. I'm like, oh, they're all in there. They're all talking. They want to come out.
They're all talking.
That's what farts are. They're just talking to each other. All the poops. Oh my god.
Oh man.
Actually, speaking of poop again, why not? I re-listened to one of our other episodes, and I was describing how me and my friends used to talk about poops at a restaurant job, like caramel popcorn, but I called it Shepherd's Explosion, but I actually meant Shepherd's Volcano. Because we had a dessert called the Chocolate Volcano and the Shepherd's Pie that would make everybody poop. And so when we make the poop after the Shepherd's Pie, we call it a Shepherd's Volcano. And I said it was called the Shepherd's Explosion. Well, we just lost Paul. I know how to walk men.
See? Very good.
How are you going to be upset about me bailing on dates when it's like, well, listen to what I'm going to talk about? You should be excited that I'm letting you down easy.
That was a very lengthy
Right?
explanation
Yeah.
of the Shepherd's Volcano.
Oh, yeah. Anyways.
So is the Hinge guy still texting you, or did you
Oh
completely...
yeah, I'm still texting him. Who else am I texting? I'm texting Vasectomy Guy, the original, Teeth. Who else am I texting? I randomly met this guy in Winnipeg at the Julian Piano Bar, and it was so funny because I'd given my number to another guy that was friends with the guy, the other vasectomy guy, and it's very confusing to keep up with all these dudes. But then I didn't know who I'd give my phone number to, and of course I'm not saving these numbers, so they're just like phone numbers. All area codes I don't recognize, because I'm a genius like that. I'm like, what the fuck is that?
Wait, you don't save somebody's name?
Not immediately. Like, they might write me and be like, hey, it's so-and-so. But then also I'm like, where the hell is 731? Like, I don't even know area codes, half of them in the States. Anyways, whatever. But then, so I wrote him back. I was like, thanks, you're the best wingman ever. And then I realized, oh, he wasn't even part of that crew. But anyways, now he's, like, writing the comedy club in Winnipeg, and he wants me to come play there. So
Nice.
he's become a nice, like, cheerleader.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I know. I'm really excited. It seems really positive. So I'm like, that's cool. I was talking to one of my friends that I know, who's really funny from Second City, and she was talking about this, which I found was very interesting. Now, she's Japanese, and she was talking about how people in her family refer to women that if you're over the age of 25 and you're not married, they call you Christmas cake. And if you're over the age of 31, they call you New Year's cake, because it means you're past your prime. Like, I guess your Christmas cake goes on sale on Christmas Day.
Oh!
Right? So that's when your value goes down, right? So your value goes down at 25, and then your value goes down, like, big time at 31.
I don't believe that.
Christmas cake and New Year's cake, that's what they call you.
I don't agree with that at all.
What the fuck does that make us? There's not even a date on the calendar called 40. Like...
Yeah, but
are we flamingo cake? What are we?
I'm gonna strongly disagree. I mean, unless you want children. If a guy wants children, then yeah, then we're down. But everything else, I'm way more emotionally stable now than I was when I was younger.
I love this. I agree.
I'm way more into trying to please a guy than I used to be.
See, I feel
like I used to be like nervous about like blowjob. Like I wouldn't do it because I'm just like, oh, I'm probably awful and all this stuff.
Alright.
I'm way more open. See, I'm gonna totally disagree.
Me? I think you're right. Maybe fertility-wise, we're more primey at those younger years.
Well, if it's fertility, then for sure, yeah.
But chemistry, if you want to get along with a woman, like, yeah, we have our shit together when we're older. We know who we are. We're competent. We're self-sufficient. We don't... Do you know what I mean? We're not... I don't feel like I'm as emotional.
No, God, I used to cry all the time. I don't cry that much anymore.
Once you get a bunch of relationships and fuck buddies under your belt, you're like, oh yeah, okay. So this is what happens. This is how this ends. I don't really care. Like, that's true. Way more laid back.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I don't know if it's about the I think it's more just also as you get older, like, you realize you don't take all that small stuff so seriously.
Yeah, that's very true. So you're right. We're actually more primey now.
Well, I feel like I've really changed since you read me Big Magic. Only because then I just now look at, like, if somebody's meant to be in your life, they're in your life.
Yeah.
Because I used to always be, like, chasing, like, why don't you like me anymore? And now it's like, well, whatever happens is supposed to happen.
Yeah, totally. And that's why with, like, the 25-year-old in Seattle, he's so funny. Like, but he kind of reminds me of me when I was younger. Like, I would love, like, I could romanticize somebody who lives in a different city. Like older, I'm like, oh, maybe we can like meet up here, we can meet up there, and then, but as an older
he really
person,
likes you.
Yeah, as an older person, I'm like, oh, I already know how that ends. Like, because I've done the whole, the first time I moved to LA, this is when I was 23. I moved here for a guy I met in a nightclub in Las Vegas who convinced me I was his soulmate. So it wasn't like I moved here for comedy. I fully moved here for a guy. And
How
I
does
was
somebody
23.
convince you that there's...
What was that?
Wait, how did he convince you that?
He just believed it. Like, we talked all night one night in Vegas.
Oh, okay. So it was kind of mutual. He wasn't like.
Oh yeah, we were hanging out and stuff. Well, it was funny because I think we met each other the first day, and this is like I wasn't using a cell phone. This was 2002. So if I had a cell phone, it for surely didn't work in the States. Like there would have been some enormous Canadian phone charge. So, but I remember kind of meeting this guy in passing very briefly. But then the next day, we ran, like, I remember he told me to go by the pool at New York, but I didn't. And then we randomly ran into each other again the next day. And then he's like, hey, it's you. And I was like, oh my God. And then we end up, like, talking all that day and, like, going to clubs and staying out late.
Yeah, that can mess with
and
your brain.
bonding. Then we went back to Ottawa.
Too much eye contact can really give you some false hope.
Too much eye contact. So don't watch us on YouTube. Listen to the podcast. Just do audio. You don't want to make eye
contact. I try not to make too much eye contact with men. I don't want to get emotionally involved.
Oh my God, I know. But see, that was when I was 23. At 23, I'm all on board with like a ridiculous long distance romance with somebody I've known for 24 hours. I'm like, yeah.
Well, I feel like at that age, all my ideas of relationships came from movies. Mm-hmm. Which now, if you watch it, it's like, oh, that's so ridiculous how they describe people falling in love in movies.
I mean, Serendipity is like my favorite rom-com of all time. You know I love Sleepless in Seattle.
Oh, I do love Sleepless in Seattle.
I know, it's true. Like, the more unrealistic, the more powerful
But that's what happens. You start to think, like, if you ran into him on the street in Vegas, you're like, oh, my God, it's totally meant to be.
It's meant to be.
Yeah, I can see that.
But now I feel like
I might feel that way now.
Yeah. See, maybe I should hook you up with a 25-year-old.
No. I like men who are 40.
I mean, that's
at least.
That's the thing. But I feel like older dudes, I feel like, again, they're busy like me too. Like now we have our own lives. We have a lot of stuff going on. So there's not as much, for me, there's not as much, I don't feel the need to be in a relationship. Like, you know, I don't mind if he was really fun and we hooked up or whatever, and then we go back home to our cities, and hey, if our paths ever cross again, I'd be like, oh, sure, let's meet up. If I'm ever in this city, you're ever in my city, let's meet up.
How come you're so worried about the LA people, though?
I don't know, because I think I just...
Too much commitment?
Yeah, because then...
Too close?
Yeah.
Too close proximity?
Too close proximity. Well, then we have to go out all the time, right? Then we have to...
It's so funny because I remember you remember certain things that family members will say. I always remember as a teenager hearing my aunts talk, and they had this phrase when they would meet guys, they'd always be like, oh, good. And it meant like geographically undesirable, like a GUD.
Oh!
But they meant it like he lives too far. And I feel like I grew up the opposite. Like,
I'm the opposite. I like them far away.
Yeah. They're more desirable when they're further away.
I like you better if you don't live in the city. But here's the thing, I feel like I'm so busy that maybe if I'm lucky, I have 2 nights a week to myself. And you better fucking believe I want them to myself.
Yeah,
or
I know.
So
I know how much you love your couch.
I do. I do like my couch. I like my alone time a lot. I like sleeping alone. Like the same way some people probably can't imagine ever sleeping alone. I can't imagine sleeping with somebody for the rest of my life. Like somebody in my bed beside me. Like I can't imagine.
I liked it when I had a boyfriend for 5 years. I never got tired of that.
I think I just haven't had a boyfriend in so long that I'm in the comfort zone of being by myself.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Anyways. So, self-driving cars. I got self-driving cars next on the... How's that for a segue?
Why do you have self-driving cars on your list?
Because when I was in Vegas...
Well, actually, that was a perfect segue because you're a self-driving car.
I am a self-driving car. Although, to be fair, I fucking hated the self-driving car lift.
Wait,
I like it. Oh, I got
not.
one. I got one in Vegas.
I would never get in a car without a driver.
Oh, no.
You got in a car that was...
Let me explain to everybody.
A driver.
Oh my God! Not only was there one driver, there was 2 drivers.
Oh, it's like an experiment, right?
Yeah. So they're like, oh, Lyft's doing these self-driving cars. So it'll prompt you, be like, would you like to use one? And I was with teeth, so we're like,
so wait,
sure.
they just sit there and don't use their hands on the wheel or anything?
Oh my God! It's so stupid. It's not even a like. Okay, so we get in, and then the woman in the passenger seat is like, basically explaining what's going on in the car. The driver's driving. The woman in the passenger seat is explaining the self-driving car. But they're not allowed to have like, they're not, I guess with Lyft, you have to have 2 people in the car running the car. So now, this is a self-driving car, but you need 2 drivers for it. So tell me how this is a self-driving car. And then we get in it, and we're going from downtown to the Strip. Oh, well, we're not allowed to go on the highway with the self-driving car. So now we're taking Las Vegas Boulevard from Fremont Street. So that takes forever.
I hope your ride was free since it was experimental.
And then, no. Oh my God,
Should
no.
have been.
It took forever, and we didn't even get off where we were supposed to get off. We're like, you could just let us out here. It took so long, and there was so much blah, 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 blah. And here's the thing. He couldn't even, they're like, oh, there's too many cars around, and it's Las Vegas, so we can't really turn on the self-driving mechanism. So that he turned it on maybe for like a block.
Did you know what you were getting into when you ordered the Lyft?
Yeah, it did prompt me. They're like, would you like to try a self-driving
Oh,
car?
okay,
And
because
then
I was
we
going to
just
say,
yes.
if not, you should have written them and gotten your money back.
It was so annoying. It took so long. It literally was allowed to be a self-driving car where there was no hands on anything on the car or whatever for like 1 block. So tell me what exactly this self-driving car is doing, because they're like, they had to have 2 drivers. It was very frustrating. I'm not into it. I'm a real self-driving car.
Yeah.
I am. That is it. So yeah.
Christina.
Anyways. So after this, we're gonna go watch football, just like last week. And you know, I was thinking something that was kind of sad about me. It's like I wrote this down too. Like, even though I am old, or older, shall I say, more mature. Let's say I'm more mature. Like, why do I still want to fuck bartenders? Why am I still so attracted to bartenders? And not even like the good ones. I'm talking the ones that still drink on the job.
Wait.
The
Those
worst-
are the good ones.
Those are the worst guys.
Where did we go last week?
Arguably the best.
Where did we go
See a
last
bartender
week?
like.
That's how bad my memory has gotten.
No, because last week hasn't happened yet, because we haven't left the studio since last week.
Oh! I thought you were talking about actually where we went.
No, I was making it up, because this is one of these weeks. I'm going on the cruise ship. We had to take
God.
back-to-back episodes. Now you're just getting us closer to the bottom of the can of beer that we started last week.
The Serbian bartender on the ship was like, "You're a little slow, aren't you?"
Oh my God. I think I just like gargled. I laughed. Like a bubble came out my throat.
I was like, sometimes. I didn't realize you were talking about. Yes.
Like-
Like what'd you say?
I was talking about, because we're going to go out. We're
Yes.
probably going to find
We're gonna go out and watch football just like last week.
Dirty Dive Bar. I already went on Yelp, and I've got somewhere where we're going to go.
Christina's gonna wear her giant shirt every single week until she picks up a man.
A man from New York,
From New
specifically.
York. So wait, what is it? Do you think you like the bartenders because they're in control, or just because they're making drinks? Do you like the control factor? I've always been more of a busboy kind of guy. I just called myself a guy. I'm a busboy kind of guy.
Even in Vegas, I was like, oh yeah, that bartender's cute. I'll just sit down at that bar. But then sometimes it backfires, and then it's like, oh, this guy's a dick.
No, there's something attractive about that profession, I guess.
Yeah, I can't help it.
They're serving you. They're giving you a little cup of joy.
I know, they really are. Even though female bartenders are good too. Sometimes they're like super nice, and I feel
Yeah.
like they care about their job.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
We don't discriminate.
We don't discriminate at all.
It's not he or she, it's just they.
It's they. It's beers. Sometimes you get a free beer.
Do you know that people that now, when their kids are born in the hospital, they don't want to put a gender down? In the hospital, like, you have to. But some people, they don't want to put a gender.
Wow.
So the hospital just picks one for them.
Really? They probably go old fashioned, right? Like penis, male.
I think that's how the hospital does it, yeah. I'm guessing. Although it would be,
Hermaphrodite, you win. All
although it
right.
would be funny if they just kept putting the opposite of what the...
Oh yeah.
They'd be like, well, you didn't want to decide, so...
Well, as you guys know, my bowels identify as male.
Your bowels do identify as male.
Those burps are I'm definitely a boy.
If there's any cute bartenders out there who own a bidet, I need you to introduce Christina to it.
I need
That's
to get
gonna-
a bidet.
Okay, so you went on the vasectomy trail for a while.
Yeah.
Now you need to find guys who have a bidet.
It seems like the vasectomy guys should have bidets. I feel like that's the age range, right? 40? Once you're in your 40s?
I don't know if it's a
get
matter
a
of
bidet?
age.
Are there any like young, none of these 25-year-old guys?
I don't think a lot of
have
people
bidets.
have bidets.
I don't think so either.
The only reason I know of it is for some reason my family caught on to it, and they all decided to get them installed in their bathrooms.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Your family has them. Cool. I gotta come over for Thanksgiving. Supper was great. Where's your bathroom?
Supper was great. Oh my god. So I babysat for my stepbrother. He's the one that has this like fancy toilet, which I didn't know about. But I did like an overnight thing. So
Right.
in the middle of the night, I get up and I go into his bathroom. The toilet senses you, and the seat automatically lifts up. But I didn't know that, and it scared the fuck out of me because I walk in the bathroom and there's this like moving,
Oh, yeah.
and it
I have been one of
automatically
those.
stays heated,
Right.
so your tush isn't cold when you sit. So then I sit down, it's hot, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on with this
Oh my
toilet?
god. But this toilet seat's hot, and Christina wasn't just here, so that's weird. No, I've been in one of those sensory bathrooms before, too, and you're right, it's like, oh my god, what is happening? It's very cool.
I didn't even touch any of the buttons. I didn't use the bidet. I didn't know what to do.
Kinky. Alright.
Paul, have you ever used a bidet?
No,
All right, you can't help
just a
us.
watering hose.
Just a what?
Paul just gets in the shower every time he takes a dump. He's like, well,
He's
I
just in the
can't.
backyard.
No bidet, but no bidet. You're like, oh look, somebody left their sprinkler on. Give me a minute, I'm gonna run through that.
Dude, speaking of being slow, I remember years ago, my friend Sean Halpin, I haven't seen him in years, he did a joke where he goes, I'm so poor, I have to take a shower after, I have to take a shower every time I have to shit. And I was like, afterwards I was like, you can't poop in your shower. That's what I thought he meant. That's so
Oh
stupid.
no!
No, I'm not stupid. No,
Yeah,
don't.
no.
I'm not allowed to say that anymore. But I had no idea that he meant just rinsing off. I thought he was talking about like pooping in the shower, and I was like, you can't poop in the shower.
No. Well,
All right, Paul. We know you have to go.
do you know?
Paul's got big
We'll leave
plans.
you with this because I feel like I'll forget to say it. I feel like I have to show you guys.
Aw.
Oh, can we just talk about this actually, since this is on me right now? So, anyways, it's my friend's birthday. And so, like, my friend Anna, she made me these for my birthday. Did you see these that year?
No.
So she made cards for me to give other people for their birthday. Isn't that very cool?
Oh my God, that's
So she went onto my Twitter feed and she found like her favorite little tweets of mine to put on the card, and obviously that is a cute little graphic of me. Does the camera kind of pick that up?
Yeah, hold on. Let me.
That is really cute. What a great gift.
Sorry about my fingernails. I never paint them. Just feel lucky I'm not holding it up with my toes. But anyway, so this is cute, right? So it says, just heard Pat Sajak say. Sorry. Here's my card. It says, those need to be painted. Okay, so my card says, just heard Pat Sajak said, sorry, fuck. I can't read. Can you believe I read a whole book to her in a car? Okay, right, I can do this. Just heard Pat Sajak say, sorry, there is no D. And it hit a little too close to home for me.
That is
Hashtag
so
Wheel of Fortune.
cute.
It's cheers. And then you open it up and it says, hope your birthday is full of the D. Right? It's like cute.
That is really cute. That was one of your tweets. That's really funny.
Thanks. So yeah, don't forget to follow me at Walkinshaw. I wrote that June 27th, 2018. So yeah, anyways, but it's a cute way. Like my friend Anna Cunha at Hakuna Matata, she made the cards, and they're so fun. But I've been forgetting to give them away to people. So anyways, it's my friend's birthday tonight, and then if on
Happy
the off
birthday,
chance,
friend.
Courtney, and
We'll-
on the
we'll be
off
wearing
chance I
different-
make it by your birthday party tonight after football, I got this card for you.
We'll be
Very
wearing
excited.
different clothes next week. Maybe.
Oh, that's so cute, right?
All right. Shout out to Comedy Pop Up
We love you, Comedy Pop Up. Go to our websites.
and Norwegian Cruise Lines. I stole
And
17
you can only
pens.
see me on vacation.
Can you steal me some more pens? I love
I
these
absolutely will steal you some pens. Mine's from Harrah's, because, you know, I'm a high roller at Harrah's.
pens. All right.
All right, thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.